everyone, Irene here from Steinway, Indonesia, and we have the one and only musical genius, insanely talented Jacob Collier.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Hello, hello.
Welcome back to Jakarta. Second time,
Thank
right?
you very much. Second time, and the last time I was here was 7.5 years ago, which was a long time. I think it was my fourth ever gig. Was here in Jakarta.
Nice.
Back with my one-man show. So after all these years, it's so nice to return and to be back and to see you.
And hopefully you'll be back again many more times.
I should think so, hopefully.
All right. So you grew up in a family of musicians and you sang in a choir and all that. So would you say there was a moment that made you decide to pursue music, or did it just kind of happen organically?
I think for me, when I was growing up, music was kind of like a second language a bit for me. So it was kind of inevitable that I became interested in it. And some of my earliest memories as a human were music. My mum playing the violin. I used to sit on my mother's lap and look up, and I'd see the violin above me, like the ceiling of the room. Yeah. And that was a really special memory. And my mother also did lots of conducting when I was young too. So I used to watch her move her arms, move her body, and then music would start to come out of people. And so all these years later, I find myself very interested in the process of not just making music by myself, but of connecting other people together and having them connect with each other too.
That's what you do a lot in your concerts.
I love to do that in my concerts, yeah.
So a lot of young people in Indonesia are very enthusiastic about music, but they don't really have support from their parents or families.
Right.
Do you have like advice or word of encouragement for them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a very, very important time to be creating music in the world, because through music we can discover ourselves, we can discover each other, and I think for me, I never pursued music so that I could have a career. I pursued music because I was very, very deeply interested in it. And I think that through playing and discovering chords and melodies, harmonies, I learned about life, And so I would say to any musician who's watching now, who is wondering whether or not to pursue art or pursue music, I would say there's nothing more important in the world than doing something that makes you happy and doing something that makes other people come together. And music, I think, is a very unique language that can really do those things. It can really show you the world. And those of us who are lucky enough to make music for a job, we have a big responsibility, because we are the people in the world who can kind of alchemize some of the struggles, some of the strangenesses, some of the uncertainties in life. And we can make those things make sense through music and through art. And so, I would say don't wait for somebody's permission to create the music that you want to hear. Just listen deep inside your mind and feel what that feels like to hear that music, feel that music, and spend as much time as you have to try and make that music into a reality.
Speaking about that, do you ever have doubt when you're creating?
Well, all the time, yeah. People experience doubt, no matter who they are, whether they are just beginning or whether they are world experts, And I think I'm probably somewhere in between.
More the world expert side.
But I think doubts can be actually a very helpful part of the process. I think doubts are much more powerful than certainties. If you're very certain about everything, then the world starts to close down and everything becomes straight lines. But if you're okay with being doubtful or questioning, then I think you learn much more quickly. And I think that questions are much more important than answers. So if you're able to acknowledge that you're doubting, say, I don't know, who knows? Then those moments are the moments where you can be the most open to change and to learning. So I think for me as a musician who is learning all the time, I think sometimes those moments where I question myself, am I really good enough? Do I really have something to say? Those moments can actually be real opportunities for me to learn more, to expand. And I also just think it's a really important part of being human, is to ask those kinds of questions.
All right. So speaking about Steinway, how has Steinway Pianos helped you in the musical journey?
Oh, wow. Well, when I was growing up, at home I had an upright piano, and I always dreamed about grand pianos because grand pianos are so beautiful and so large. And it was pretty quick that I realized that there's kind of this one undefeated grand piano in the world, a company that makes grand pianos in the world, and that's obviously Steinway. And so growing up in London, I would often dream about those moments where I get to sit at a piano like this and just sort of sprinkle, because it feels so grand, it feels so large, and the low notes are really so warm, and then the high notes are so delicate. There's no other piano in the world is capable of these kinds of colors. When I sit down and play a concert like this, I'm improvising. Most of the concert's completely improvised, so I'm discovering how I feel when I play, and so I feel like almost like a painter. I'm painting pictures, and so having an instrument that's capable of these kinds of colors is really important for me, because it's those colors that in turn inspire me to be a better and more full version of me.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Jacob, for doing this interview.
Thank you, and thank you for this beautiful piano, for this concert.
You're most welcome.